this is David Kamatoy, and welcome to How to Google Yourself Properly. Now here's the trick. Many of you have probably Googled yourself, and you've been doing it wrong. Not wrong specifically, more like not optimally, okay? So Googling yourself is basically typing your name into a search engine and seeing what comes up. The trick, or the not optimal version, is that you've been using the browser that you always use, which is skewed towards your history. Meaning that if you developed your own website, if you do your own social media, your search results will skew towards the sites that you visit. Whereas if you use an incognito window on a Chrome browser, or a private window, or you want to deep dive into Opera VPN and go off country, using those will give you a much better result of what people are looking at when they search for your name. Why you want to Google yourself is a bigger question. Essentially, you want to control what people see when they search for you, your brand, and your company. Typically yourself, like you're branding yourself. As we say, the media group, in the age of social media, every person is a brand and every company is a media company, because as soon as you like, tweet, comment, share something on Facebook, you're essentially branding you, yourself, your company. And now is the time to control that, especially during COVID and the new normal. Typically, you reach out, you shake someone's hand, you spend 5 to 10 to 30 minutes with somebody in person, you talk to them, you get to know them, and now that's not happening. Now, a lot of that is now taken up with meeting people online or in Zoom meetings or referrals. And what's one of the things they're going to do when they want to find out more about you? They're going to type your name into a search engine, and they're going to see what pops up. They're going to look for you on Facebook and Instagram and see what pops up. This is why you want to control how people are Googling or searching for you. If you're an actor, entertainer, author, however you need to control your brand, this is one of the reasons you Google yourself. Now so that's the first tip. The first tip is incognito, private window browser, see what comes up. Now once you look at those top results, the first page, the second page, the third page, you'll see trends, especially if you start to look for other people as an exercise. If you look up my site, if you look up Mark Christopher Lawrence, if you look up Scott Sargent, you're going to notice that there's a specific trend of what comes up on the first, second, and third pages. They're typically your website, if you have one, your Facebook, your Twitter, your top trending social media sites, and video is also one of them. So those are the things you want to focus on. Now, the second big strategy or tip is this: when you're typing in your name, if you don't have a unique name like mine, David Kamatoy, for instance, there's only one other David Kamatoy, and that's my cousin in Canada. And hi, cuz, because you're probably going to get likes on this, is that, send him a message, say, I love your juggling. Anyway, but there's only one other David Kamatoy. So if you type in my name, you're pretty much going to get me or my cousin, and that's it. But if you have a more generic name, like a John Smith, then you want to look for John Smith plus occupation, or John Smith plus location plus occupation. John Smith Plumber, John Smith Plumber San Diego. Those are the things that help you figure out how to fix your searches. And then what you want to do is brand towards whatever that is. In other words, David Kamatoy Juggler. I want that, people have known me that for years, and so that's how they search for me. The next thing is you want to deep dive into Google. Many people don't know that there are other categories in Google that you probably knew about, but you didn't really notice. But if you're working on optimizing you, yourself, your brand, your company, then you do want to focus on this. And the top things are Google News, video, which is attached to YouTube, which they own, and the third thing is images. But then it gets more specific. It could be Google Scholar, or Google Patents, or Google Maps. And all of those can be optimized based on if it's a category that you're in, then there's ways of optimizing that towards what comes up into Google. Now, the big overwhelming trick to all of this is the fact that the overwhelming trends and what comes up in these search engines are based on optimization, and also what's being trafficked. In other words, what's being clicked on, what's popular. In other words, if your Twitter account has thousands of followers and you're active, then that will probably rise to the top of the search engines based on somebody Googling your name. If you're an actor, like our buddy Mark Christopher Lawrence, or I'm a producer, then IMDb is going to rise higher on the search engines. Same thing with images, same thing with Google News. If you have a top trending newsworthy item, then that will also pop up. Same thing with LinkedIn. LinkedIn's another site you want to, it's a great optimal tool to use. But anyway, I digress. But that's the trick, is to find out what is trending in your name and then go after those sites. YouTube is the #2 website in the United States. So they're going to go to Google and they're going to go to YouTube. As a video producer and a content producer, I'm telling you straight out, we tell people, you don't want just one video, you want multiple videos. In other words, if someone finds the video that is about you or you're in, what comes up next? If there's only one video, then the next video that pops up will not be yours. It will be somebody else's. Whereas somebody that has hundreds of videos, typically another video in my slew of videos will pop up associated to me in that search, or you in that search. Here are the big tips. If you want to optimize yourself and your brand, the #1 thing you can do for yourself is to get your own website. Your name as a brand.com, yourname.com. If you can't get a .com, get a .org, or any one of those top dots helps. If you want to get a more obscure dot, that's fine too. If you don't have it, do that. Don't freak out that .com is available. What you really want to worry about is what comes up in the search engines. In other words, johnsmith.org, if there's no traffic to a .com and you have the .org, then you're going to get the traffic. That's all there is to it. I'm David Kamatoy, and thank you for Googling yourself with us. Or with me. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Okay. We'll be back.
Hey, this is David Kamatoy, and this is your call to action, action, action. Action number 1, please like, subscribe, and comment on whatever platform you are watching. That helps us out a lot. Number 2, join the email list. Join our direct circle of influence. We have free reports and webinars and all that stuff on using our own jugglemail.com system. Of course, that's a shameless plug. And action number 3, if you need to talk to us about a project, yourself, your brand, if you need a brainstorm, please send us a message at kamatoymediagroup.com. Once again, I'm David Kamatoy. You're watching KMG TV on KZTC7 in San Diego.